Get your 2024 Recovery of the Month calendar on sale now at towinglife.ca/recovery, because I'm using the same link. Which reminds me, at the time of airing, I got to go make sure to change the website and put the link up for it.
Or head over to our Facebook page and find the post, and there's a link in the little description, and there should be a link for them in the description of this video too.
You can find our Facebook feed on our website. Did you know that? Have you ever been to our website?
I haven't been in a while.
All these hours I slave away, and you don't even appreciate me.
You don't even listen to the episodes that I edit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I just want to say thank you to everyone, because this is the first ever Wednesday release of the Towing Life Podcast. A day late and a dollar short again, and you can thank PlainGuy for that one. And I am also your host, TowManG. So,
what is going on, G? What is going on?
Oh, just you got to have all the fun this weekend, and I have to suffer for it, and all our listeners have to suffer for it for having to wait an extra day for the episode.
Well, let me tell you, the wait is going to be worth it. Does that make it better?
No.
Because there is no way that I could have had the energy to do this yesterday that I have today.
Yeah, after your wife would have beat you for going away for a couple of days and not coming home and spending any time with her.
No, actually, you know what? She was, when I told her I got home and I said, nah, we're not going to record tonight. We're going to push it back one night. We'll have to push the episode this week. She was quite surprised by that. Like, she was like, oh, wow. Like,
yeah, because you were actually thinking ahead and thinking of her and your relationship with her. She's not used to that.
Let's be honest. I was thinking a lot more
of yourself and sleep.
My level of energy that I had. Like, so for those of you that know, and most of you do know that was listening, we were talking about it. I did take off to the 2023 Towman Exposition in Baltimore.
If you can't tell from his new apparel, because he didn't go shopping to buy this. Last week he did.
I went, yeah, exactly. We talked about that. I went shopping to get nice clothes. These were clothes I was given at the tow show. So yes, I am wearing a wonderful shirt from the wonderful people over at Townator Towing.
Yep.
I would like to thank them personally for the shirt. It is awesome. I actually delivered them a couple of porn star shirts that we had on the pre-order before I left. In exchange, they brought me a Townator Towing shirt. They also covered a wonderful round of drinks out of this little dive bar that we found in Baltimore, which there is plenty. So I want to thank them especially for that. It was awesome. If you haven't, Townator Towing out of Lafayette, New York, they deserve a shout out. I mean, we met people from all over the country. It is amazing, Baltimore, how big of a show this is. Right? One of the things I got asked is, because you and I attended the Ontario Tow Show, was, is this bigger than Ontario? The simple answer is yes.
Yes.
It was bigger. It was badder. The entertainment. I mean, Ontario couldn't do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There was no Sunday, actually. I guess from what I'm understanding, it was one of the first years they didn't do a Sunday, which was okay for us because we were traveling, right? It gave us a day to get home. But yeah, it was what a tow show. You Americans do something at a level that goes beyond.
They do a lot of things at a lot higher levels. Like I saw a video of a guy who strapped fireworks to the skis of his helicopter and flew around letting them off. You Americans just do things up here. We are America light up here in the north. And I stick by that. We are America light.
So we traveled down on the Wednesday night, or the Wednesday day. It's a long ride for us. Like, it was about 8.5 hours of driving. And I don't know what it is. And I was telling people this all weekend at the show. I had this idea. So we're coming from Ontario. So obviously we're traveling New York, Pennsylvania, and into Maryland.
Mhm.
I had this idea that Pennsylvania was pretty flat.
No.
I thought it was a lot like here where we live.
Mm.
It is not. Now I still don't understand. So we're doing wrecks, like tractor trailer wrecks up here weekly. And it's a straight highway. These guys have hills and curves and you know, rock cuts and everything else. I don't know how they're not wrecking there weekly. Right? Like it was such a beautiful drive because you actually got to drive the goddamn thing. And I think that's maybe what makes the drivers better down there is they have to drive. Where up here they just gotta, you know, set the cruise at 105 and see you later.
Or they're stuck in bumper to bumper traffic and they don't really have to pay attention that much.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Well, it could also be because of the type of foot attire that they wear.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, maybe, but I mean, we're colder up here. You think the foot attire would start to, you know, you get away from the flip flops now and start to get into work boots as winter months approach, right? Like we've seen snow.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Have you seen snow hit the ground yet?
Yeah. I had snow yesterday for about 6 hours on the ground.
Yeah. It's not sticking yet. It's still at that point. It's not quite cold enough. It'll, you know, disappear during the day, but it's snowing. So yeah, so we hit the road on Wednesday night, headed for Baltimore. The first stop we made, I don't remember where we were. I want to say we were on the other side of Syracuse, New York. And we stopped at this little diner. Okay, and so we pull into this diner, and my buddy that I was with, well, he's quite the foodie. I found out this weekend, and he said, "You got to try this place. I stop here every time. It is one of those home cooked family diners." And so we sit down. I got a chicken pot pie, homemade style chicken pot pie.
You can't go wrong.
No. And a side order of cornbread. Because another thing you can't find in Canada very often
is good
at
cornbread.
least in Ontario, is cornbread.
Yeah.
The only time I get cornbread is when those rib fests come to town.
Yeah.
And even that, it's kind of dry. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
So we sat down. We had this great meal. And I remember going to the lady and I said, "Can I get some cornbread to go?" And she's like, "What? Like, how much do you want?" I'm like, "Well, like 2 orders." And this is the part that baffled me. She goes, "Do you want that grilled?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, I want it just like I just had it. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I give my buddy a little piece, and he's like, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "You're not having any more. Like, get your own order. Like, this stuff is amazing."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "What is that?" She's like, "It's lightly grilled." I was like, "You grill cornbread?"
Yeah, give it a little crunch, a little extra flavor.
It wasn't even crunch. It was almost like juicy. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't like dripping of
grilled
grease
it in the bacon fat.
I don't know what they grilled it in, but it was fucking delicious. I had that. So like a couple nights out in on town and stuff, and you get drinking while we're out in Baltimore and whatnot, and get back to the hotel, and I got a nice big piece of cornbread.
Soak up some of the alcohol.
Yeah, soak up some of the alcohol. I mean, we were on our best behavior. So we get in there. I think that was the only stop we made on the Wednesday. We get in there late Wednesday night. We got valet at the hotel, and you know, buddy goes, "You want me to? We're gonna go in and valet." I'm like, "Okay, you want to shut the truck off?" "Nah, it's fine." I'm like, "It's a Dodge Ram running on a side street in Baltimore. This thing's already gonna get stolen.
We're not in Canada anymore."
Then we had an fold-up arrow on top, so they couldn't figure out what garage they could fit it in. It was quite the cluster they had going on. So Thursday morning, you know, Friday, that night was pretty quiet. We go to this little dive bar right around the corner, right? We asked the guy at the front lobby, "Where can we get a beer?" He tells us, "If you just go down this alley right here," and I'm like, that's how every good story starts in a town like Baltimore. Baltimore is ranked the 3rd most dangerous city in America, I heard.
Really?
I'm going to actually go stat check that. I heard this. I did not look it up for myself. So yeah, it's right around this corner.
So yeah, Baltimore is like our Winnipeg.
Is Winnipeg dangerous?
Yes.
Okay, so I just seen it on the list. But I'm trying to open a website that actually ranks them. And I don't even see it's not even on the top 10 in this list. So, but on the first list, I've seen the most dangerous cities and towns. I see Detroit. I see Little Rock, Arkansas. what the hell is going on in Arkansas?
Well,
And
there's
then
nothing to do there, so obviously it's dangerous.
That's fair. Like Detroit's a given. I expect to see Chicago on this list. Detroit, Little Rock, and Baltimore. So it's pretty decent. It's so yeah, saying just go down this dark alley right here. You'll be fine. Honestly, found the coolest little dive bar. It was called, I'll get its name. I don't give a shit. I'm not from Baltimore. Peter's Poorhouse. I had to explain to my French friend that it's pour, P-O-U-R, not pour, P-O-O-R. Yeah.
Oh, it works both ways, really.
It kind of does. And
you
so
go
we
in
get
there,
in
he pours you enough drinks, you will be poor when you come out.
Yeah. So we sit down at this place. Go, what can I get you? Take a beer. I've been on this Yingling track since like the one when you're on the East Coast in the US, it's Yingling. You can't get it here in Canada. It's an awesome little beer. It's the oldest brewery in the United States. Still family owned, still considered a craft brewery apparently because it's not owned by any of the big brands. And they go, you want a small one or a big one? I'll take a big one. And it comes in a big plastic cup. And I go, this is my kind of bar.
Plastic, not glass.
Not even glass. Plastic, not like almost like the big red Solo cups, but it was clear plastic. And I go, yeah, this is my kind of establishment.
Don't have to worry about people stealing the glasses or when they get too drunk because you overserved them, they fall over and break your glasses.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of it is whenever they start throwing them, that they don't break the glass.
Oh, speaking about plastic, Canada reversed the single-use plastics ban.
Okay, I did hear about this. That was the first thing that I noticed when I went down to the States in New York. We get some cutlery to go, and it's plastic. And I'm like, God, I miss this.
Yeah.
I miss this so much. And I did hear that Canada has reversed the single-use plastic ban.
And everyone rejoiced.
Screw the turtles.
Well, they labeled it as toxic. That's
straws.
the only way they can ban it. It's not really toxic. But anyways, more with the towing. Get on with your story and fangirl.
So anyways, Thursday morning, I show up and get my first glimpse.
Oh, fuck, we're only on Thursday? Jesus.
What? We're only at Thursday. What they do on these shows, the value that they build in these tow shows is incredible. Right? You get, like, we walked in, you get a passport for training. For the 3 days, there's free seminars, and then there's extra ones you can pay on top of that. You get your passport for it. I believe with that comes the tickets to the Hard Rock cafes, like our meet and greet night. They had one at the Hard Rock.
Yep.
And there's like 4 or 5 training seminars every day that you can attend. They're every hour spread out for the morning, right? They start at 8 o'clock. They end about 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So you can kind of pick what you want to go to. And then there's paid courses that go a little more in depth and things. There's 3-4 hour courses, right? All ways that you can gain training. You walk into this, you get your passes, you go in, and first of all, there's an omelet bar. There's like 5 of them set up in this lobby area with tables. So you can go and get an omelet made up. You give them their ingredients. They cook you up an omelet.
Wow.
Sit and have your coffee, have some breakfast, get into the training. The trainings are about an hour long. They're a range of different topics you can cover, right? I attended one that was building company culture. And it was put on by Wreckmaster. It was just talking about culture within companies and dynasty and how do you build that culture and how do you do all those things. There was one on, is your dispatch maximizing your profits? Talking about dispatch scripts and different ideas and ways to approach situations and how to maximize your dispatch. Yeah. Right. There was environmental cleanup and how to bill and how to do that. There was airbags. Right? How you can, some of it is commercials, right? Like it's companies that are putting this on. So yeah, they're trying to sell their product at the same time, but they're also teaching you things that you wouldn't necessarily think about.
Yep.
Right. So just the value in that training alone can easily eat up get the value for your cost of admission. Then you throw the paid course on that. Then you throw the breakfast, the coffees. Then you throw just the socializing you get to do, right? I missed my Thursday training course because I ran into the guys at Donator Towing and we ended up hanging out at a table telling stories.
Yep.
And shooting the breeze and everything else. So the networking that goes on at these tow shows is unbelievable. Then from there, all the training is done in the morning, and the floor opens up. Right? So it's not like you're stuck in training all day at the show.
No.
Your training is in the morning. So if you want to get extra out of this, you can. And if not, you can show up at 11, 12 o'clock, and the show floor opens.
Yep.
I mean, the show floor is huge. There's trucks everywhere. There's, you know what I mean? Like I'll pull a couple up. I'll throw them down on the bottom. Like you've all seen it at this point. You've all been on Facebook, and all you've been seeing the last week or the last couple days has been posts of pictures of wreckers and everything else from the tow show.
You know what seeing all these pictures makes me really angry about? Salt.
That you weren't there?
No, salt.
The unfairness of salt in the north?
Yeah, because you look at these trucks, and one thing comes to mind is truck rice, because they've got chicken lights everywhere, like everywhere. And I can picture someone up here doing that now. They put it on, and the first snowfall, half of those are going to go out because just the tiniest bit of slush and salt got into one place. And then you got to fish through hundreds of meters of wiring to find that one short and then fix the bulbs. And it's not worth the headache.
No, it's really not. Like they do have
the
the
looks
advantage.
Cool. Don't get me wrong. It looks badass. But up here, it's just not worth it.
No, it's. I mean, you could do it, but you're right. The time invested in everything would be ridiculous.
And who's going to build a tow truck to go out and make you money and only drive it in the summertime to keep all your pretty lights in working condition?
Spend all your money you made in the wintertime fixing the truck for the summertime.
Yeah.
What was awesome about the tow show that I found is that it wasn't just beautiful trucks. Now, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of beautiful
American
trucks.
Forces on a tow truck. Like you
got
$10,000 rims on a truck. Yeah.
Yeah. What I really enjoyed about it is that there was a lot of support equipment and tools, right? Like we've got a photo up on the screen, and this is the tow show is not just about tow trucks.
Yeah.
Right. There was companies selling the jacks, right? The 4-post, there's a 6-post option. Of the jacks and your oil drains and everything else. There's the air
hoist, not a jack.
What?
It's a car hoist, not a jack.
Okay, sorry, a truck hoist actually. Yeah. You've got emergency response vehicles, like cleanup vehicles with crash devices on the back. You've got like all of that. Like the show has something for everyone. Right? There's food right on there. There's multiple vendors of food throughout. Right, a problem we had faced before.
Yep.
There is, the biggest vendors are there, right? All the big boys are there. Miller's there, NRC's there, Metro's there. We've had some fine folks from over at Metro on our show. Nothing against product, but like Jordan, Century, like everything is shown off at this show. And they go big when they show it off, right? They've got some beautiful trucks that are already in service, and then they tend to bring some brand new builds. Like I seen an 85-ton NRC, fresh build, ready to go. Beautiful unit. Absolutely beautiful. The folks over at NRC did an amazing job putting that thing together.
Is that one going where I think it's going?
It is not going to our shop, no.
Okay.
No, we haven't. No, we're not looking at it. We just refreshed our 80-ton.
Yeah.
But no, I did actually meet the gentleman who bought it outside my hotel. We got talking. He's like, yeah, that 85-ton NRC, that's the truck I got. And I was like, oh, shit. Good for you. That thing was beautiful.
I got one just like that at home.
I got a smaller one at home. And it's
that thing when you're driving with your parents and they're like, we have McDonald's at home.
Yeah, we have an 85 at home, R85. Yeah. No, it's like I said, it was an absolute amazing time. Thursday night. Now, this is what made it even better. I'm a football guy. I watch football. I'm a Bills fan, right? I've been to a couple games, probably been to 4 or 5 games. We're in Baltimore on Thursday, and there's a Thursday night football game on. How do you not? Right? First of all, Baltimore, the Ravens are a decent team. They're playing the Bengals. It's a division rival game. It's a night game. I've never been to a night game. I can tell you I've been to a Thursday nighter now, and I don't think a Sunday afternoon game is ever going to cut it quite the way a Thursday nighter will.
What's the difference?
The nights, the lights, the atmosphere, the everything. It's not a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. It's Thursday night. The crowd is ready to go. The people, and you know what I mean? Like, it's an event. You don't get a Thursday nighter every season. Like, it's an event for the city.
Yeah.
So we went down to that game. It was awesome. Ravens won. Burrows got hurt in the first half. That kind of sucked. Kind of made the game, you know, he kind of had an idea where it was going to go. The fans, the crowd, the right, like there was people there from Cincy, or at least Bengals fans, and they're like, they were mouthy, they were loud. It was good camaraderie going on in the stands. It was an awesome game. Awesome game. The people of Baltimore this whole weekend were amazing.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, I did not meet a bad person. So we did Thursday nighter. Friday night, we got lucky enough to be invited to an NRC event that they were having. Instead of the regular meet and greet, they were doing their own thing. And we went over, and I mean, you're sitting with some of the big names in the industry at these events, right? Like some of the biggest, you know, it's all NRC owners, right? Because you don't get invited to this NRC event. So
when you run all centuries.
Yeah. I got lucky. I sat in a table full, like we had a table full of Ontarians.
Oh, nice.
Right? Like I was
you
there.
You drive all the way to Baltimore to sit at a table of people that you can meet in your own province.
True. I was there with James Ireland and Fabiana, his wife, Gary Vanderhoovel and Colin and their wife and his wife Tammy. Andrew Vink. Like it was all Ontarians sitting at this
table. So it was everyone that we met at the Ontario Tow show.
Pretty much. Pretty much sitting and drinking and telling stories in Baltimore. Yeah. It was good. You know, we met some of the guys from Eagle Towing were down there. Right? Like it was nice to see some familiar faces because as fun as it is to meet people, right? New people, it is always nice to have a group that you can hang out with. Right? We had this event, it was great. Left from there, food spots all weekend, man. We were hitting all these food spots all weekend. Gary and Colin introduced us to this pizza place inside like a bar that we had to like not sneak in. There was a huge line. I seen these dudes trying to cut through because we're just trying to go to the pizza place, not the bar. And the guy's like, you know, we're up behind this group that's getting let in. And he's like, where does your group end? And the guy goes, oh, right here. I'm like, why you gotta do me dirty like that? Like, why you gotta do that? Like, let us come in with you. So anyways, the guys, we had one of our exhibit passes, which apparently gets us in. We didn't know it had anything to do with that. And they, all right, we guys supposed to wait in line. Just wand these guys quick and let them in. You know, give them the security wand, let them in. Found this sweet little pizza joint. I don't remember the name of it. I'll never find it again. Like I said, the stories that we had from the show were amazing. The stories and the friends from everything outside the show were even better. Right? I told my buddy this. I'm like, you gotta learn to smoke at these events. Because I'm outside, I go out for a smoke. And that's where you start to, you know what I mean? Like other people that are out, or you run into people, you whatever. Like if you're just sitting at a table with your buddies, you're not going to run into anybody.
Are you condoning smoking? Are you endorsing it?
For the sake of networking, I do.
That's what's going to get us canceled. Nothing else that comes out of your mouth. It's the fact that you need to go outside and smoke some dirty cigarettes so you can actually have a networking possibility.
No, it's absolutely worth it in this case. Okay, it was a cigar. Maybe I was having a cigar, just an odd, you know, cigar.
Okay,
but no, like I actually introduced myself to these guys that were standing outside, and I said, "Hi, I'm, you know, so and so, my real name from my real company."
Yep.
And the one guy goes, "Yeah, and the tow business podcast? No, that's not right. The Towing Life podcast." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, yeah." Like kind of caught me off guard a little bit, right? Again, this is at the NRC.
I introduced myself the wrong way. Let me rephrase that. I am PlainGuy from the Towing Life podcast.
Exactly, right? And he goes, yeah, no, I recognize the voice. Not I watch you on YouTube. I recognize the voice. And I was like, oh, that was like, you got a good ear. Because like I only just
if he watches you on YouTube or watches us on YouTube, why didn't he recognize your face?
He doesn't watch us on YouTube.
Oh. That's understandable.
So the only way he would recognize me is by my voice. And he ended up being a tower from Saskatchewan, from Moose Jaw area.
Oh.
And he had another buddy with him that I think was from Alberta. And so, yeah, fellow Canadians, right? So, like, there was a lot of Canadians down there. Like, the group from Tow Canada magazine, all the way from BC, went down.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple towers from BC I never got to meet up with that I was very sad about, because there was a tower from out there who was involved in a very funny photo back when of a tow truck giving birth to an operator from the wheel lift. Remember that one? I don't know if you ever seen that photo.
No.
Anyways, he was down there. I never got to meet up with him. I won't name him by name, but yeah, there was so many people there. It was hard to find people when you were looking for them. There was so many people there.
Yeah.
Marching bands when they opened on Saturday. Like, just all kinds of events. It was something I'll definitely hold with me for a long time. I'm definitely starting to look at Florida now in April, because I kind of want to knock a couple off the list.
Like, the only tow show you've ever been to before the Baltimore was the Ontario Tow Show?
No, I've been to the Quebec Tow Show.
Oh, okay.
Quebec Tow Show is bigger than Ontario.
Yeah.
Well, the one year I went to it, I don't know, I got there in a weird year that it was in Montreal, and it was inside a convention center. Apparently it's normally out in Drummondville, which is a couple hours outside of Montreal, so I don't know what it's normal like, but the one year that I went to it at a convention center, I had been to. Of what I understand, Baltimore is the biggest.
Yeah.
Of all the, like, there's the big ones, right? There's Florida.
Yeah.
There's Baltimore. There's Tennessee, and there's Vegas. Those are my understanding, the four biggest, and of them, Baltimore is the biggest.
Well, I think it's more common for people in the States to travel out of state to go to different events more often than it is in Canada, because, like, you can drive for 26 hours and still be in the same province.
That being said, but we're also outnumbered in the States when it comes to the amount of operators.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like, there's a lot more towing that's going on in the United States than there is in Canada. Yeah. So on that form, and I think you're right. I mean, you can 4 or 5 states can travel within, like, I went through 4 or 5 states. If you count the ones I went through coming back.
Yeah.
Thanks. We took a little detour on the way back. We went through Philadelphia specifically to get cheesesteaks. Again, this was a foodie trip. We literally decided to come back through Philadelphia simply to stop at this world famous downtown middle impossible to park Philly cheesesteak place.
So if you're a person that can only have a bowel movement in your own home, that is not the thing to do.
Oh no, it was not. This whole trip was, you know, an inability to do that. I had some chicken and waffles at this breakfast joint that was featured on, like, the Food Channel, and, like, the waffles came with jalapeno butter.
What?
Listen, hear me out. It sounds crazy. Yes, it sounds crazy, but you put jalapeno butter across some amazingly cooked waffles and then put maple syrup on top.
They have maple syrup there.
Oh, I don't know. It was syrup. I'm not supposed to maple.
Oh. It probably wasn't real maple syrup.
I don't care. You throw that with jalapeno butter on waffles and then breaded chicken with some other stuff all over it. It was goddamn delicious.
You wonder why there's an obesity problem in the fucking States.
No, 100%. No, I understand why. I 100% understand. We went, okay. Let's get more on food. There's a lot of food that happened in Baltimore. We went to this place called, I don't remember what it's called, Fogo de Chão. I had never been. I was a little scared. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. I don't know what that means. Never been to Brazil. Walk in. They bring us to our table. They go, would you like sparkling or spring? I'm like, oh, no, this is too fancy for me. Spring water, please. So my buddy has to explain how this whole thing works. And I got this red light, green light coaster on my table. And so I got a big salad bar. So I go up and get salad. Come down, eating salad. Delicious. Then he goes, okay, so now turn your coaster to green. Well, okay. I turn my coaster to green. And all of a sudden, these people start walking out with sticks full of, like, steak, bacon wrapped chicken, you name it, lamb chops, sausage, all meat. And they cut you off a piece. And they ask if you want, and you grab it and you put it on your plate. Or if it's like a lamb chop, they pull down a chop off this stick. And they keep coming. It is almost overwhelming at times because you look at your plate and it's got a mound of meat. And so you turn your stop-go coaster to stop. And you eat your meat. And And then if you decide that you want more, you just turn it back to green.
Hmm.
And if it's red, they just walk right by. If it's green, they stop. Would you like some of this?
Hmm.
Then they bring you some like cheese with honey, some like brie with honey or something. And then there's like they're all. I listen. I am not kidding when I said I gained 5 to 10 pounds in a 4-day trip.
I guess that system would be good for like people who have social anxiety of trying to flag down a waiter. And now that I bring that up, I had my first go with social anxiety for the first time in a long time, and it was at the grocery store. So
I'm very interested in this.
We talked about the single-use plastics. They got
Yes.
rid of all our plastic shopping bags in the grocery
Yes.
stores last year, I think. So
Yes.
now it's you either bring your own paper or plastic bags, or you buy them there and then you just get a junk drawer full of paper plastic bags that you can't use for garbage bags. Or what
Yeah.
I do is I leave bins in my truck and I just throw everything loose in the cart, and then I go out to the truck and I put them in bins and then I carry them into the house.
Kinda
But
smart.
now, since they don't have bags there, they're just scanning things through and throwing it down. As you're putting it onto the belt for her to scan, or whoever to scan, then you got to bring your cart down, and then you got to start loading everything into your cart. But she's done scanning, or whoever, they're done scanning, and they're already saying, how are you paying, cash or credit? And you still got half your stuff still sitting there to put into your cart, so you quickly pay. And then she just starts scanning the next person's stuff and pushes yours down. Like, I just need to hurry up and get everything. Don't crack the eggs. Don't put
Because
the
you're worried
milk
about
on
being in
top
the way of the
eggs.
next person.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And she just keeps pushing it all down and shoving it in further into the corner because the next stuff's coming. You're like, can you just slow down, please?
Actually, I was surprised because we stopped at a Walmart in Watertown, New York, and they didn't have plastic bags. They had I'm like, can I get a bag? And they're like, it's 80 cents because it's those whatever reusable things, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care. Like, I need a bag. But yeah, I was really surprised by that one. But no, there was the big cultural changes were plastic forks and straws and no concern about single use. What was something? Oh, when I went to pay and I go, I order my stuff, MasterCard. The guy goes, "You're Canadian, eh?" I don't think he said "eh." I think that's a me retelling the story thing. And I go, "Yeah. How'd you know?" And he goes, "Because you guys always have to tell us what card you're paying with." Apparently they don't down there. They just go card, and it's debit. It's whatever they have.
You tell people that it's a Visa or MasterCard?
Yeah, all the time. If I go debit, I say debit. If I go MasterCard, I go MasterCard.
I just say plastic, and they always look at me funny, and that's probably why.
Yeah, well, apparently that's what we do. Is we, as Canadians,
I guess I'm more American than you are.
Yeah. But the accents of people, I love the accents, man. There's so many different accents in such a small area. Like, I know Canada has accents. Like, you go to Newfoundland, you even go out west, there's different accents. But it's not as noticeable and as quickly changing as it is in the States.
Yeah.
So the other fun thing that we had on this trip, and I would hate to have these things in my city, but I love them as a tourist.
So NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Scooters. These electric scooters that are laying around everywhere that you can rent. I must have done 15 trips on those things this weekend. I was riding those things everywhere.
And you're probably a dick riding them too.
100% down the sidewalk. 100% cutting cars off. Not wearing a helmet. They tell you to wear a helmet.
Yeah, so you're just going to carry around your own helmet while you're walking. Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. I was very discriminated against one night because we left this pizza place after, having pizza and beers and whatnot.
You, as a straight white man, discriminated against.
Yes. Because as I get on my scooter, I scan my scooter. You got to scan like a QR code and then accept it.
Yeah.
It tells me not to drink and ride. My buddy, it didn't tell him not to drink and ride. I felt very discriminated against by this app. Like, I'm guessing it tracks where you are because all apps do. And it knew I'd been at a bar. I was at a bar before that. And it goes, "Hey, you've been at a couple bars for a couple hours. Please do not drink and ride." I did not heed its warning. I definitely drank and rode. Back to my hotel.
Can you get a DUI on one of those?
I don't know. The one thing I learned is I don't think it carries over to Ontario. I don't think we share information with Pennsylvania or with Maryland.
Oh.
I mean, it's a criminal. It's a federal offense, so that might be an issue. But no, I think that it'd be the dumb tourist, right? Like it'd be the dumb tourist laws that apply.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was like you'd walk out of the hotel and you open your app and go, "Where's the closest scooter?" And you go hop on the scooter and you'd ride around. Like I said, I hate these things in my town, but I love them as being a tourist.
I can't even grasp at the concept living out where I live
and having scooters.
Yeah, like no,
they're a genius idea, right? They're decent for the environment, right? In the sense that they are, so they're $1 to unlock, and like 30 cents a minute. So I mean, like you can go down to, what would be a 15-20 minute walk. You're running behind. And it's like $2.
Right? Yeah, 30 cents a minute just makes me feel like I would be spending way too much money to try to get into town.
Yeah, well, your way, yes, of course. Yeah. But like I said, if you compare it to walking or taking an Uber, it's right on par. Right? It's obviously more expensive than walking, but it's a hell of a lot faster. They go like 15 miles an hour, these things. Like you get a good pace going on a straight.
Like 22 kilometers an hour. That's not bad.
Yeah, you're moving. You're moving. No one died, no one crashed.
That's
no
about
one
as fast as some of my tractors. Yeah.
It's like taking your tractor to town for a little cheaper. Yeah. But no, like I said, the people, the training seminars, the trucks, the vendors. Like I went out, I got no problem in it. I went out, I got myself a big stiffy. Right? I wanted to try one. That guy's marketing is
genius.
Your
big stiffy. Was it around other people?
Yes.
Please tell me it wasn't around other people.
It was around other people.
Oh.
I got my big stiffy around other people.
Did you pull it out of the case around people?
Oh, you got to pull it out to try it.
Oh, man. In Baltimore, of all places. Come on.
You got to pull it out to try it. No, check it out.
If you shake it more than twice, you're just playing with it.
Well, no, I had to get the curve right in it.
Oh, you had to bend it, pre-bend it,
Yeah, they come straight.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get that kink in it for the optimal.
Yeah, for the optimal leverage.
Optimal reach spot, You got to get in there, you got to hook it. And
when you're trying to hit that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to curl it up, just so you can get it right in there. And yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about a long bar, folks.
Big Stiffy offers all of that.
Yeah.
I got one out to try. I'm curious to it. I want to, it doesn't have a coating on it. So it's pure steel, but I'm guessing a high grade stainless steel, something along those lines. No rust, no whatever. So you're not going to have anything that will be abrasive against it.
So you don't have to wrap it up with electrical tape like I do with mine.
Yeah, especially when the coating starts to break and crack and everything else. Yeah. So we're going to give this thing a whirl. The tip, you'll never lose the tip on your Big Stiffy.
No,
it's stuck on. There is a tip.
Oh, there is a tip.
It's just like I don't know what he super glued it with. He was actually showing. I seen a video after the tow show where he had tow truck wags. He had his from his truck that caught fire, and the tip was still on it.
Really?
It didn't even melt.
Wow.
The bar is black. It's not steel colored anymore.
With my tips, I just find them like discarded in the back seat like a used condom, just because they fall off.
Well, that's because it's too small of a stiffy. You need the big stiffy.
No, I think the cover just gets worn out from use all the time.
Yeah. For all fairness and intents and purposes, we're not sponsored in any way by any of the people who we are mentioning on this show.
But if you would like to sponsor, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The wonderful folks over at Warrior Winches, a winch company out of the UK. They're awesome. I mean, anytime you get to meet some people from the UK, they tend to have a real good time. Nice enough to give me a hat. Again, our Towmater Towing. Shout out to NRC with the amazing event that they put on. And I know Miller did the Hard Rock Cafe on the Friday night as well. I didn't get to attend. I heard it was packed. I heard it was a great time.
So just hear me out for a second.
Yeah.
We're 40 minutes into this episode, and you've gone over your shirt, your hat, Big Stiffies, NRCs. But I see this little fancy thing sitting right there next to your computer.
Yes. 100%. For those of you who are not on our social media, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You would have known this 2 days ago, 3 days ago, time varying, 5 days ago, depending on when you listen. Our 2024 Recovery of the Month calendars are in. First batch that we ordered are in. If you want to get yours, these things have turned out better than I could have ever guessed. They look crisp. They're clean. The photo quality was amazing, right? We got Mr. January, Jonah Robb. This is wonderful. Sponsored by Herb's Towing. We've got Mr. February, John Adley, sponsored by PlainGuy Productions. We've got...
You don't have to go through every month.
I'm going through someone we got. March, Damian Adams, sponsored by the wonderful folks over at TowSoft. I want to get through all of our sponsors. April, we got Max
If
Hunt,
you wanted to get through all our
TowSoft.
sponsors, you could just go to December of 2023.
Hey, is Max Hunt who I think he is? From
Maybe.
that other show?
Maybe.
That's his name.
I think so.
Anyways, we got Max Hunt for April. We got May, sponsored by PlainGuy Productions. We got June, Bradley Cliff, sponsored by her. There we go. We got July, sponsored by BakPul Hitches, Mr. Curtis Dirk. August, sponsored by Tow Canada Magazine, and so on and so forth. Get yours. We do have a big announcement that we're hoping to announce within the next couple weeks on these calendars.
Mm-hmm.
But get yours now before the first batch sells out, and you got to wait, and then you might not have it in time. Right? We've got boxes and boxes to get started. Head over to towinglife.ca. You can look down below. We'll have the description where you can order them right off the where you can pay, put in the address, get them shipped out. They're $25 Canadian, and that does include your shipping and your taxes. So $25 Canadian for you Americans. I learned this weekend that's like $5. Our
So if you want 4 of them, it's 100 maple leafs.
100 maple leafs for 4
Flat.
calendars.
No hidden fees, no added extras. You might have to pay some duty fees if they deem it at the border as
I'm gonna
unsafe
smuggle
or
them to the
whatever.
border and mail them from that side. But no, 100%. They not only do support our show, they're an awesome to hang up in your office. Like I said, some of the awesome recoveries we've had over the week. It helps support our supporters from the show. Like I said, Herb's Towing, TowSoft, BakPul Hitches, Tow Canada, PlainGuy Productions. Without all those companies, we wouldn't have been able to do this awesome calendar, right? We gave away gift cards. There's still some to come out, right? Don't forget, November and December still haven't been announced. They're in the calendar.
Yeah, we gave away $600 this year.
That's right. We gave away $600 this year to submissions for the recovery of the month. So get yours now. The 2024. Man, that cover just turned out so nice.
Yeah.
Head over to towinglife.ca. If you're looking for them, /recovery, I'll have it up there. You can email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com. Over on our YouTube, I'm sure I'll send him the link. You can send in the description. If not, just have the towing.
Or you can just scan the QR code on your screen right now if you're watching on the YouTube.
Absolutely. Right there on the screen. He has put it. That QR code will bring you right to the order screen for it. Get yours now.
That big?
There you go. We have made it our goal to ship these out within 3 to 5 business days of ordering. My wife is on board. She's going to help me do the packaging and shipping. This has been a fun project that we've been doing for the last 12 months. And I'm so happy to how it turned out. And I'm even happier to move these calendars and get them in the hands of our listeners. The one thing the Tow Show was cool was to meet our American listeners, right? Like to see our t-shirts walking around that Tow Show was something that, was awesome to see. So it's a very humbling experience. Very, very humbling. So that being said, you know what to do. Get your calendar. If you were at the Tow Show and you didn't get a chance to meet me, sorry about your luck. I think I did run into somebody that commented on one of our things. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the continued support as we're on to episode 117. We hope to do more Tow Shows. Maybe if G gets off the FBI's most wanted list, he can come to the next one, right? If they let him into the country.
I think the FBI's most wanted list is better to be on than the CIA's most wanted list because the CIA can start wars in other countries, but the FBI is more like homegrown stuff, I think. Anyways, that's my rant for today.
The rambling minds of my amazing co-host, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of myself and Mr. TowManG and the fine folks over at Townator Towing, as well as Warrior Winches, we thank you for joining us for another episode of the Towing Life podcast, and we cannot wait to do it all again next week. Get your calendar. Take care.
Toodles. We'll see you next Tuesday.
You just wanted to say that.
Get it? Because this comes out on a Wednesday, not a Tuesday, like normal.
But do you know what? See you next Tuesday?
I'm well aware.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
We say
See you next Tuesday, asshole.